All right, so when we are training the jump squat, I really want you to have a really good technical squat before you go into a jump squat. And when I train it with newer clients, what I'll actually have them do is I'll have them land in a standing neutral position, right, where the position that we usually start our squat in, and then come down into your squat and explode from there, land, squat, explode. And then eventually we want to get into the point where we're actually blending those movements, as I kind of did on that last rep there, right? Notice that I'm decelerating though, right? So I don't want to do a jump squat and just fall into that bottom squat position. Yes, we are training that explosiveness of the squat. However, we get more gains through that eccentric phase. So I really want to work on trying to decelerate a little bit as we come into that squat. So you'll see that my hands come up into this prayer position as my ass goes down, and I explode up, throwing my arms to the side. Sometimes people will throw their arms up. That's fine too. Usually in circuit training, we like to throw our arms down. So it's just a little bit more anatomically flowy that way. It slows us down a little bit and gives us more airtime if we throw our arms up. For sports performance, that might be a good thing. In this case, maybe not as much. So I'm here, going into those jump squats. And eventually we can start working those into being burpees. All right, the second one is going to be Swiss ball TRX, slider, hamstring curls, 2 bridge. So we are including the bridge in this. I missed that a second ago. So whether we're using a physio ball, a TRX, or sliders, it works the same way. And so when I say sliders, I mean you can use a hand towel or washcloth or your loofah or whatever. It's just something to put under your heels so that your heels slide easily on the floor. So physio ball, TRX, they're going to have different advantages to them. So just use which tool that you just so happen to have. So the basic principle is that I want to maintain a plank the whole time. So my weight is in my shoulders, not on my neck. I keep my chin tucked so that I don't put weight on my neck. And then I'm going through this kind of motion, and I want my hips to rise as my heels come up. And the mistake I see most of the time is that people will have as they're drawing their heels in, they'll keep their hips dropped and then bridge at the very end. And I don't want to do that. So, with the TRX, because this is kind of the more complicated way to get into this, I'm going to go palms back, fingertips in. I have my arms to the outside. I'm usually going to wear shoes. For this type of movement, shoes are going to be very appreciated. So I roll back and I drop my heels in. Now when my legs are straight, if my feet are on the opposite side of my point as my body, what's going to happen is the TRX is going to be pushing in my body, it's going to be assisting me. The further out I go this way, right, if my legs were straight, my feet were on the other side of the point, the resistance is going to be much higher. For space reasons for me right now, I'm just going to be where I'm going to land, right? So, as I pull my heels in, my butt's going to rise up off the floor, and I want to think about tucking my tailbone as I do so. So, I'm not arching to get my heels up, right? Or to get my butt up. Instead, I try to keep a flat back. I tuck my tail like a scared dog. Here, now I'm going to drop my hips down, keeping my heels pulled in the whole time, bridge up, and expand. Pull, hips went up the whole time. I'm trying to keep a flat back. I drop my hips down, keep that flat back. So I tug my tail like a scared dog as I come up. So, what that looks with the physio ball, because that's probably going to be the most likely tool that you're going to be using. I position halfway at my calves. So this meaty part of my calves is kind of centered on the ball there. So I get my hips up off the ground, I pull in, bridge, up, again, leading with the tailbone tucked under, and extend. Up, down, up, and extend. If I want to progress this and I want to get more glute activation, I put a band around the top side of my knees that's going to pull my knees inward. I try to fight that. So that's your hamstring curl to bridge. If you're using sliders, again, that can be, you can get sliders at a fitness store, or you can just use a washcloth under each of your heels so that they move evenly on the floor. The exercise will still work in a very similar manner. So the last one is going to be a monkey pound. Now, monkey pounds is similar to the punch sprints that we just did, except instead of focusing on the deltoids, we're going to be focusing on our back muscles. So I want to get into this kind of sumo deadlift position. So I've got a wide stance with my feet, my legs are pushed out, and I'm down. Now, to kind of remember how your arms are going to turn is I have to turn my palm into my side. So like I'm slapping my side here, right? Between my legs, I'm grabbing my junk, right? So, right, I'm turning my palm to my back side, palm to my side as I pull back. And I'm gonna alternate. So if you're feeling like this is aggravating your back, it could be that you're allowing your back to move too much. We do want to get some oblique movement going on there, but at the same time, we don't want to be rounding our low back. We want to be keeping that flat and engaged the whole time, right? So just like with our deadlift or kettlebell swing, right? I get into this position, I've got a nice neutral flat back as much as I can, or a little bit arched. Now, palm back, palm in. Ow, fucker. Don't use these types of dumbbells. So I get in that flat position and I alternate. Kettlebells also work for this particular movement, and that is your monkey pound.